Today in Cannabis News, a Colorado State House panel rejects a proposal initially intended to offer safeguards for employees who consume cannabis outside of work. U.S. House legislators begin submitting amendments to the MORE Act ahead of a House vote scheduled for this week. And U.S. President Joe Biden's spending plan for the 2023 fiscal year proposes to continue prohibiting Washington, D.C. from beginning legal cannabis commerce, though it maintains a special clause that shields lawful medical cannabis systems from federal meddling. It's Tuesday, March 29th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California, it's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, a Colorado State House panel recently rejected a proposal that was initially intended to offer safeguards for employees who consume cannabis outside of work and permit medical cannabis patients to take their treatments in the workplace, following a substantial drawing down of the proposal that eliminated those assurances entirely. The bill, championed by State Representative Edie Hooton, was considerably diluted during a proceeding by the House Business Affairs and Labor Committee, with a revision implemented by the committee that supplanted the entirety of its text with measures to simply create a working group to examine cannabis workplace hurdles. The modified proposal was later defeated by the panel by a vote of 1 to 12. Next up, U.S. House legislators throughout the political spectrum have begun submitting amendments to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerrold Nadler's proposal, the Marijuana Opportunity, Reinvestment, and Expungement Act, which would decriminalize cannabis on a federal level. The bill is scheduled this week for a House chamber vote. The amendments are primarily about studying the effects of the legislative update, whereas one Democrat-championed modification from a legislator who earlier opposed federal cannabis legalization would keep some national cannabis restrictions in place. The session of the U.S. House Rules Committee, where the modifications will be stopped from additional review or carried to chamber votes, was initially slated for Monday of this week, but has now been postponed to Wednesday. 5 modifications have been submitted as yet, and it's probable that more will be submitted in the upcoming period. Last week, House lawmakers announced that the bill, which had already advanced in the House in 2020 but failed to progress in the then Republican-led U.S. Senate, would be voted on again this week. And majority and minority figureheads of the House Judiciary Committee afterward published an almost 500-page document describing what the bill would achieve and detailing reasoning in support and in opposition of the bill. Last up, President Joe Biden's spending plan for the 2023 fiscal year, which he delivered to the U.S. Congress this week, proposes to continue prohibiting Washington, D.C. from beginning legal cannabis commerce. He did, though, maintain a special clause that shields lawful medical cannabis systems from federal meddling, much to the satisfaction of proponents. After President Biden's previous budget proposal neglected to eliminate the Washington, D.C. provision, which was championed by U.S. Representative Andy Harris and has been extended every year since, activists and legislators voiced concern and irritation. Although D.C. voters passed a cannabis legalization ballot initiative in 2014, the federal provision precludes the district from utilizing municipal tax resources to develop a program of lawful recreational commerce. An additional plus for proponents is that the spending plan for 2023 includes a distinct provision that prohibits the U.S. Department of Justice from interfering with the establishment of medical cannabis systems in territories and states throughout the country. That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com. And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts, like Hash It Out, Tech and Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For TRICHOMES.com, I'm RJ Balde, signing off.